School's back around and you may or may not be seeing your least favorite teachers again. Every day you walk into class, you feel tired, unmotivated, and hoping that you'll have a friend in your class to talk to. You might even look forward to one class out of all classes because that one class is easy or there's a small chance that you actually enjoy the work. And after you're done with school, you are left coming home to homework that you put off or hope someone else might have the answers to. Just to wake up the next day early, tired, and unmotivated again, to repeat the cycle again. So if your school year is looking anything like this or has in the past, then this is honestly a great video for you because your circumstances right now may look like the very intro of this video, or they might even look worse. So whether or not everything absolutely sucks or if everything is just a little stressful, these 5 ways to de-stress pretty much your mind and school and be able to actually have a good school year will help you tremendously when it comes to just understanding different strategies and some of the mistakes that I made and actually some of the things that I did right and kind of how you can implement this into your school life to keep your mind together. Now I want to first start off by sharing this. I had classes that I enjoyed and I had classes that I hated, okay? So I went to a career tech school, okay? And in this school, I had pretty much learned the things that I actually do now, which is, just photography and video editing and Photoshop and music production. And funny enough, even though I was learning all of that kind of stuff and I'm currently using it today, it was actually my least favorite class and I did horrible in it, mostly because I slept in it so much and I was completely depressed at every single point that I literally even sat or took a breath in that class. I absolutely hated it. It was absolutely terrible. It was so bad. Now, even though I did get bad grades in the career tech school, I had like A's and B's and the other stuff, which was like math, English, and science. And it wasn't because I was interested in the topics. It was just based on actually the strategies that I had implemented to get those good grades. And there's a big difference between the effort that I put into the one side versus the other side, because the career tech school I didn't give any craps about, and then the other one I still didn't, but I actually used these strategies that I'll be sharing in this video to actually help me get to where I wanted to be, which was simply just A's and B's and just literally passing and not being stressed. So number 1 is start doing more physical hobbies after school. Now I want to start this off in a way that will kind of like take a step-by-step process. So make sure that you watch from like 1 to 5, because if you watch them out of order, it might get a little confusing. I want to keep this step-by-step so that you guys can easily flow through this. So essentially, schools obviously offer different sports. Now, of course, you don't have to do these sports and this is completely optional to you, okay? So I do encourage that if you are maybe a little out of shape or you just don't feel like you do much other than gaming, then yeah, maybe just get into a sport. But you don't necessarily need to get into a sport. You can do other outside activities. Now, for example, what I did as an outdoor activity was actually skateboarding. Skateboarding was essentially my sport in school. I did play football my freshman year, but I did really just skate the most. Skating was my physical hobby that would just completely tire me out, either that or just riding bikes. Now, the reason why I think it's so important for you to have physical hobbies is because it takes you away from school for a little bit. And you're kind of just with your friends and you're enjoying physical activities, whether it's in sports or just something else, that's physical. And you get to go out and tire yourself out, enjoy pretty much the experience of doing something that's active, whether it's working out with the boys or something like that, or if it's skateboarding or just playing football with everybody. These are pretty much ways that it disconnects you from school and stuff like that. And not only that, it also takes you away from gaming, which of course you can play video games and stuff like that, that's fine, but you got to essentially disconnect a little bit and take that gaming time that you're typically playing a whole bunch of games and stuff like that, and then put it towards something like physical hobbies, because whenever you're doing the physical hobbies, you're taking a time away from gaming. So you're actually pretty much building, you know, a physique and stuff like that by just simply doing physical activities, and you're hanging out with your friends, enjoying it. So I just really wanted to explain that, and I didn't feel that I had explained it whenever I was doing my first recording and stuff like that. So I wanted to kind of further explain the reason why it's so important to actually have a physical hobby. And I think that they're super, super important. I actually made a video, I'll just tag up in one of the corners if you guys wanted to check that out. That's really just about hobbies and habits and stuff like that. Really good video. But anyways, let's get into number 2. So number 2 is going to sleep earlier. So if you were in my grade and you were walking into the classroom that I was in, there was a good chance that I was sleeping on the desk. And why was I sleeping on the desk? Well, that was mostly because I pretty much prioritized sleep only in school and not in my bed. And I realized that this was one of the biggest issues that I had in school, mostly because I didn't really sleep at home. I was doing physical activities, and yes, this was making me tired, but whenever I would get home, I'd be playing video games till, 2, 3 a.m. or something like that, getting a few hours of sleep and then going to school. And what that created was a very fatigued me that was in school, tired all the time, and just very unmotivated and very just not focused on anything. And honestly, because I wasn't getting enough sleep, it just made me feel more depressed. I was just feeling really, really sluggish at all times. So what I really encourage you to try is just attempt to get 8 hours or 10 hours of sleep a night. Now, of course, you got like spring break, winter break, or just, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, you know what? Stay up and play some video games if you want. Stay up doing some hobbies, whatever you want to do. Of course, make your memories. And you can let yourself sleep from like Sunday to Thursday when you pretty much need to prioritize that 8 to 10 hours, because you don't want to feel sluggish in school. You don't want to feel unmotivated and feel like you can't process anything that the teachers are trying to, give to you and trying to tell you and stuff like that. And yeah, maybe they got boring subjects, and maybe everything that they're trying to push into your mind and stuff like that you don't really care about, but it doesn't really matter because you're forced into it anyways. Essentially, whenever you're going to bed at like 3 a.m. and you all of a sudden start trying to go to bed at 10 p.m., it will not work. If you are saying like, I just simply can't go to bed. My brain's so awake and I just stare at the ceiling. I have insomnia, Honestly, you probably don't have it. You might have it, okay? But really what it just boils down to is you have to force yourself. You have to force yourself into that process of just sleeping at the same time, laying down. Force yourself to try to sleep, that full 8 hours, that full 10 hours, because you will feel so much better the next day. And yeah, you may not feel better the first week, but you might feel pretty good the second week. So number 3 is utilizing audiobooks. So reading in school absolutely sucks, and it could be our rebellion minds that were in school and we don't feel like reading because reading isn't cool, we don't want to read. It could just be that. I'm not too sure, to be honest, because I absolutely hated reading, and to this very day I still struggle reading. But audiobooks, my friend, are so good. Now I'm going to explain this first so it makes a little bit more sense, but we had an assignment in English class, okay? And it was to read The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Now this book right here, this book I had actually purchased by myself because I actually enjoyed it. Now, did I enjoy it in school? No, I did not want to read it. I didn't read a single page, but what I did do was I went online, okay, I went on YouTube actually, and I just looked up a full audiobook. Now, luckily, a lot of the books that are actually read in school do have full audiobooks for free that you could just find on YouTube or something like that. Now, if you can't find it on YouTube, you can actually check your local library and see if they offer any apps that actually offer audiobooks. So essentially what they'll do is they'll pretty much sign you up with a library card, then some information, and then you plug it into an app, and then boom shabam, you have a full audiobook library to yourself. Now, what I actually did was whenever I went to my work and stuff like that, so I would go from school and then I would go to work. Whenever I would drive, I would listen to the audiobook. Now, I ended up finishing the book before anybody else did, and I actually enjoyed it because it was an audio listening experience. Looks like Chief has joined us here, so, but really, it's just being able to enjoy audiobooks and actually enjoy the books that you're reading in school, but just in an audio form, mostly because it's hard to read books nowadays. I mean, you're not gonna lie to yourself. I mean, I'm not lying to myself. I'm telling you guys the truth. I'm not that great of a reader. I'm slow as hell whenever it comes to reading. And I'm not ashamed to say that. I tell people that whenever we're talking about books, and it's okay to be a slow reader. It's okay to not want to read. Just listen to audiobooks. That's all you gotta do, at least, at bare minimum. And that will save you a passing grade versus a failing grade, just by simply listening to audiobooks in a passive manner. I mean, it could be as passive as, you know, just listening in the shower, or like I said, folding laundry. I mean, these are very simple activities, but there are ways that you can actually do pretty much schoolwork passively. Alright, so number 4 is prioritizing homework and projects. Chances are you're playing Clash Royale in study hall like I did, okay? I'm not gonna lie, I played some Clash Royale, but I had a strategy in place. I was able to play Clash Royale, but only towards the end of the week. Now, what I mean by this is that I would literally cram all of the work that I needed to do pretty much Monday and Tuesday. So if we had a project that took a whole week to do, or we had a book to read or something like that, whatever it was that we had to do, I would get that done during study hall Monday or Tuesday, and then the rest of the week was absolutely open. I could get on Clash Royale and I could enjoy myself just sitting there in class, just doing whatever I felt like doing. And that's the great thing, is being able to prioritize so that you don't have to come home and stress about homework and all the homework you got to do. And, you know, if you do have homework or something like that, well, you know, just try to get it done in study hall. Get it done and over with, so that, you know, whenever it comes to after school, you can enjoy the hobbies that you want to do. You can enjoy the things like gaming. You can enjoy pretty much the time that you want to spend on other things and not have to stress about, you know, getting that one assignment in literally hours before it's due. So number 5 is getting a job. Even though it might be scary, breaking that social anxiety is actually a really, really good thing to do early on in life, because you don't want to be the 30-year-old that has to break that social anxiety barrier and is working and stuff like that, and is like, you know, you don't want to be that guy. You want to get that over, the awkwardness and stuff like that. Get that over with, you know, way early on, because, you know, honestly, you'll feel so much better once you have years of practice, you know, even just 1 year of practice, just working in some job that you are okay with, essentially, and making the money that, you know, is maybe not that great, but it is something, in order to kind of break that social anxiety that you have with other people. Honestly, work in a field that you will be talking to others that you don't know on a daily basis. It will force you into uncomfortable situations, and you'll have stories, you'll have learning lessons, and you'll be more comfortable around strangers, and overall just break the anxiety that you have in you. So lastly, I think that if you implement at least 4 of these strategies, and I highly encourage you to go back and look at these, you know, step by step, which ones can you implement now in order to kind of create a better, you know, mindset for yourself, in order for you to kind of de-stress? Is it prioritizing your homework and projects, you know, over your physical hobbies? Is that more important, you know, than hobbies? If that's the case, then get on that, you know, ASAP. Focus on a few of them, and then make sure that you really dig down deep on them. And honestly, it would be really, really cool if you try these for like a week, because I want you to try these before you start commenting, you know, negative oh, these are stupid ideas, they're not gonna work. I know they're not gonna work. Just simply try them at first, and then come back to this video and just let me know how you felt about it. How is it working for you, you know, now that you've tried these different processes? And, you know, if you have your own ideas and stuff like that, I highly encourage you to share them down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video and you feel like these strategies can actually blow away and destroy your school year, then definitely like this video and subscribe if you did enjoy something, if you felt like you learned something. And for the guys who made it this far in the video, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. And check out the 𝙿𝙤𝙏 𝙠𝙏𝙤𝙚 Discord down below. And finally, check out this video right here. If you do play video games still, it's okay. You can watch this video and you will feel better, okay? You can still play video games, okay? I'm telling you right now, you can still play video games, but check this out. This video will help you tremendously with the gaming addiction that you might have. Gaming addiction is something that I've had, so definitely check this video out and find the fire within you and stay 𝙿𝙤𝙏.